Do golf-specific fitness apps really work? Can they improve not just your fitness, but also your golf game? I've spent the last several months finding out, and in this video, I'll tell you what I've learned. So it's pretty obvious by now that physical fitness plays a fairly large role in playing golf to a decent level. You need to have the club head speed to hit the ball far enough, you need to have the mobility and flexibility to move your body in the right ways, and you also need to have the stamina to play not just 18 holes, but potentially several lots of 18 holes in back-to-back days. So can golf-specific fitness apps help in this regard? Can they not just improve your general health and fitness, but also potentially your golf game? I've spent the last few months trialing these golf fitness apps to see what kind of results they can generate, and in this video I'm going to run through what I've learned and what my recommendations would be if you are looking to improve your golf fitness. So the two most prominent names in the golf fitness app space are Fit for Golf and Driven. What? Driven? No, it can't be. There's no vowels in it. Driven, apparently. Apparently it's called Driven. So Fit for Golf is the brainchild of Mike Carroll, who is a fairly prominent voice in the golf fitness space. And Driven is slightly more flashy in its kind of marketing and presentation, and has professional golf ambassadors, including the likes of Charlie Hull. Now, I decided personally to go with Fit for Golf rather than Driven for my experimentation with golf fitness apps, largely because Mike Carroll is someone I have heard on quite a few podcasts over the years. Quick plug, if you've yet to watch my video on the best golf podcasts to help your game, please check that out. And I've always liked his advice. I've always thought he had a fairly down-to-earth attitude. He's got, fundamentally sound fitness advice and comes across as a good guy. So I wanted to try Fit for Golf, and that is the app that I have been working with for the past several months. Now, my background in fitness is fairly long-lasting at this point. I have been working out either in gyms or in the home gym for probably 12 to 15 years now, consistently, several times a week, doing a mix of resistance training and cardio, typically lifting 4 times a week, and then doing 2 to 3 high-intensity interval training sessions a week as well. And that's just what I've enjoyed, it's what I've been doing, it's what I've seen results with. And typically, as long as I can keep my diet on point, I am fairly happy with my level of fitness, my general strength and well-being. So I am not new to the fitness space, but I'm coming to this with an open mind to see if there are some potential gains that can be made with regards to my golf game by focusing on some different movements, different patterns and that kind of thing than what I've been used to. The most notable difference to what I've been doing versus the fitness apps is that there is more in the way of explosivity work than I've currently been doing, and also more in the way of rotational movements. A lot of my lifting has been much more vertical, and obviously with this being focused on golf, there is a lot more in the way of kind of rotational turning and twisting movements and that kind of thing. So I started out with the home-based dumbbells program from the Fit for Golf app. And then I moved after that onto the Force program, which I will come to. Now, the app itself is fairly well laid out. There is a program matching function, which you can go through. You put in your desired outcomes, your frequency of working out, the kit you have access to, and then it will spit out a recommended program for you. They typically last between kind of 4 to 12 weeks. And there are a range of things from force to mass, if you want to get bigger, to home-based workouts with just dumbbells and bands. There's about 15 to 20 different programs you can do, as well as some mobility and warm-up exercises in there as well. When you've picked your program, you can plug in your frequency of how often you want to work out, what days of the week, and then when you open the app on that given day, it will tell you what your workout is for that day. Just press the start workout button and it goes right into it. Every workout has accompanying notes to explain the movements to you, and also a video of Mr. Mike Carroll doing the workout. It's very easy to follow, and I would say that in terms of how well laid out and how functional the app is, gets a big tick from me. If you are looking to introduce yourself to a lot of these movements, the videos are super clear. It does a really good job of explaining what you have to do, at what pace, range of motion, all that kind of stuff. A lot of these movements I had been doing in my workouts already, so they weren't necessarily new to me, but the ones that were, I found myself able to follow along with really easily. And I was good to get a little bit more of variety into the workouts because I had been doing some of the same programs for quite a long time now. Now, I will say that the home-based dumbbells program was a little bit limited for me. Typically, as I say, I've been doing my workouts either in gyms or in the home gym, and I have quite a lot of kit that was kind of sat there unused for the 8 weeks, which felt like a bit of a shame. And I would say also that the home-based programs, both the one I did and the other one that I looked at, are probably geared towards more beginner lifters. If you've done any meaningful amount of resistance training in the past, then I would say you've probably progressed beyond a lot of the basic exercise in that program, which is not to say they don't have value, but I would say they are tailored more towards people who are just getting started with resistance training than anyone who's been doing it for a meaningful length of time. That does differ when you move into the other programs such as the Force and the Mass program. These do require more kit, so typically they would require you to be in a gym to do that, or at least have a decent home setup. And there are some more kind of advanced, bigger lifts in there, things like your classic deadlifts, bench press, barbell squat, and that kind of thing. So first things first, big picture, did I notice any improvements in my actual golf game from these workouts and from the app itself? I would say no. My game has been fairly static over the last few months that I've been following this program, and I certainly wouldn't say that I've seen any notable improvements in things like distance or my range of motion or necessarily my movement patterns while I'm playing golf. So is there a one-to-one correlation between doing these apps and getting better at golf? Personally, I would say no, but the caveat to that is I was already working out pretty regularly before doing these apps. So if you are someone who is new to resistance training or even any kind of consistent exercise routine, I can imagine there would be a fairly significant benefit just from doing something versus nothing. As far as the app itself goes, it's a big thumbs up from me in terms of what you get for your money. It's relatively well priced. It's about $15 a month. And there are a ton of programs in there and a wealth of information. There are dynamic warm-ups that you can do pre-round, there are mobility routines, and there are a huge amount of different programs depending on your goals, whether you want to increase your strength, your force production, whether you just want to move into maintenance mode, whether you're working out from home, whether you're working out from in a gym. There's a bunch of stuff in there. And as I said before, they are all really well laid out and really easy to follow. You can put in the reps you did, the weight you did for each exercise and track your progress over time. So as a one-stop shop for exercising, particularly if it's not something you've done regularly before, I think the Fit for Golf app is very, very good. What I will say for me is that it isn't something that I'm going to stick with. And that's not a failing on the app, that is more just personal preference. I have decided to go back to something more akin to what I was doing before. I have found over the years a much more optimal range of weights and reps and sets for my goals and my body and my kind of fitness journey. And so I'm going to go back to that. However, as I say, that is much more about personal preference than anything to do with the Fit for Golf app. And there is one thing that I am going to be sticking with, and that is the warm-up protocol. Like a lot of gym goers, I am guilty of basically starting with a few light sets and then jumping into my working set, and that's not great. It's not great for injury prevention, and it's also not been great for my general kind of pain and stiffness. I get a lot of pain in my back, my neck, and I think part of that is from not warming up properly before my workouts. So I'm absolutely going to be keeping on with the dynamic warm-up program from the app. It's about 10 minutes long, does kind of the whole body, upper, lower, and it's enough to get a little bit of heavy breathing, if not a full sweat. And after doing that, I really do feel much more ready to do my full exercises than I had done before. So I will be sticking with that warm-up protocol, even though I'm not going to be continuing with the app as such going forward. So can Fit for Golf or any of these other apps for that matter improve your golf game? I would say yes, if you haven't done meaningful exercise before, or if you haven't committed to an exercise program prior to starting them. And if that is the case, I would thoroughly recommend getting involved with Fit for Golf. It makes that process really simple, takes you by the hand, and even if you want to do it over the long term, you will be able to track your progress in terms of your weights and your reps inside the app itself. And all of the instructional content, the notes, the videos are super easy to follow. If you are someone who's kind of at an intermediate or possibly even advanced level when it comes to your fitness, if you've committed to programs already, or if you think you know what works for you and kind of what you enjoy, then I would say just stick with that and possibly add in some more dynamic warm-ups or some mobility work on top of that. It's a cliche, but it's a truism as well. The best workout regime is the one that you're going to stick to. And so for me, Fit for Golf isn't something that I enjoyed as much as what I was doing before. So I'm going to revert to that. And any kind of regular exercise that you are actually going to do regularly is going to be better than the alternative. On a related note, I do have another video coming very soon about a separate mobility practice that I would recommend and am going to be continuing with. So keep your eyes out for that. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of the video and let me know in the comments below if you have had any joy with golf-specific workout apps or programs, and I will see you in the next one.